That's right back, Charlie. Definitely.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian, man. Come on.
Because you always used to act when defending. I think it's like.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian, man. Come on.
Thank you very much for that, Ian Wright. People deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in each and every time. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing blessed. I hope you and your loved ones are in good health. As usual, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and in some cases, good night. Hope you're all having a progressive week, and I hope you've all started 2023 in the best possible fashion. As we know, it's transfer business where January is concerned, people. Some rumors are more realistic than others. You've got the Mudryk saga every couple of days. Bennacer Milinković Savić, Raphinha, Ferran Torres, a couple players that are a bit left of the field. Declan Rice, that whether they're going to happen or not between now and the summer is a different thing. The dream is free. The hustle is sold separately until you see fees agreed and people are holding shirts at London Coley, Arsenal's training ground. Everything is up for debate. So yeah, apparently Vinay, Arsenal CEO, has been speaking. We've been linked with Bennacer Milinković Savić, Raphinha. Obviously, you've got the Mudryk business and anything else. Let's go over it, people. Make sure you're smashing the like button. You're turning your notifications on and you're following on all socials, people. Deluded Gooner 04 and everything apart from Snapchat, which is D Gooner 04. Twitch, big up the Twitch gang. Appreciative of what we've built on Twitch. 6K subs just over and counting. That's just Deluded Gooner. And again, very appreciative of you lot's general support, much less on YouTube, where we've got 50-odd thousand and counting, people. So enough waffling, enough rambling. Let's get on and see what's being said in the news. Firstly, oh gosh, it's actually not shared the screen with you lot. But first thing, scrolling all the way down from the initial Vinay comments, but apparently Vinay Ventukasham explains transfer plan if Mudryk deal falls through. Now, I'm not too sure he's come out and said, if we don't get Mudryk, we're going to go for Joe Bloggs or whatever. But let's see if the headline correlates to what's actually been said, people. He says the club has a very clear plan during the transfer window as the club works on a deal to sign Mudryk, but are prepared should the transfer failed to materialize. I mean, that's just standard business. If you don't get Mudryk or Pedro Neto, which you can't now, or anyone else, you need to be able to get other targets. As great as Mudryk is or might be, he's not the only player on the planet. God forbid if it didn't happen, you need to have another target, really. While I admire last January not bringing in Vlahovic or, Vlahovic was your only target and that was it. You did need other targets because you couldn't go saved wages in Aubameyang's case, and Aubameyang's going out sad, getting passed around like a spliff, really. Chelsea don't want him. He could only play for Barcelona this season because he's technically played for two teams. FIFA rules say you can't play for free. But you can't do that. Just like against Newcastle, where we needed to look to the bench, you can't say, saved wages or failed transfer targets. You need to be able to have a squad. The only reason I could see Arsenal being let down is if we press the self-capitulation and if we just ask a bit too much of these young players to be able to pull us over the line. As Arteta said, Gabriel Jesus is out for months, and the problem is that we only have one striker. Now, if we don't focus on striker and say attacker, we've got good depth when everybody's fit. The thing would look a lot more rosier with Smith Rowe back in the team, not fully fit, but he's back. And last season, as well as, starting and doing quite well, he also was a super sub on occasion. And against Newcastle, I would have backed him to score. Obviously, if you've got Smith Rowe, Fabio Vieira, Gabriel Jesus return sooner rather than later, Reece Nelson, and obviously Mudryk, the attacking options look a bit better because we look better at seeing out games. We haven't really got players on the bench. If Jesus is back, him or Eddie's on the bench typically, so there's a stronger bench. Again, I keep saying the Newcastle game, there wasn't really options. You could bring on Fabio Vieira, but that would have offset the balance, people, and again, Saka and Martinelli, at times they're going to need to be rested and revitalized, or they're going to go for a loss of form. And this generally in the short, medium and long term, as great as it is for Smith Rowe when fit, probably going to play with the number 10, Saka's number 7, Martinelli's doing what he's doing and playing for Brazil. They need that healthy ability of being able to look over their shoulder and any nonsense. You've got Mudryk, you've got this guy, you've got that guy, and that extends to everybody in the squad. Even someone respectfully like Matt Turner, who did himself greatly at the World Cup, and he showed himself so far to be a competent number 2. I do think Ramsdale's above him, but Ramsdale probably knows if I mess about, things are happening. Zinchenko, I mess about, Tierney's there. Benjamin White, in fact, Tomiyasu's lurking on all the defensive options. In an ideal world, between now and the summer, so for next season, I would love to bring in another centre-back, maybe even a second centre-back, really. Someone that could just fill in the Rob Holding role, but to a greater standard. But I would say a centre-back that's closer to Benjamin White if he plays there, Saliba and Gabriel, and gives us some depth. I'd keep an eye on right-back, as I've explained in several vids. Smash the like button, people. I do think we need a 2 centre mids, an 8 and a 6 for long-termism. Obviously, Mudryk's a winger. I'd like a winger. And if you could, a striker potentially with a different profile to Eddie and Nketiah and Jesus, maybe a Giroud sort. But it is what it is, people. As we know, the shot to the next winger is Mikel Arteta's priority signing in January and is expected to command a fee well in excess of 60 million after rising to prominence this season. Vinay insists Arteta would be happy with his squad should Mudryk not join, but himself, then manager and sporting director Edu have mapped out a long-term plan. We've got a very clear plan, in terms of what we want to do to strengthen the squad. Every transfer window, of course, we're going to look to see what opportunities are out there. If something makes sense from a technical perspective and a financial perspective, of course, we'll look at it. But we're happy with the squad that we've got. We'll have a look around like we do in every transfer window, but we've got a long-term plan to continue to strengthen. I mean, a bit of gamesmanship. Mikel Arteta has kind of echoed them comments, but again, said things like, you know, we do need to do business early. We do need to maximize the window. Gabriel Jesus is out for months. We only have one striker. So a bit of it is gamesmanship. Even Xavi, you know, I was reading some comments about Xavi and Aubameyang returning to Barca. He said, I'm happy with my squad. You know, if we was happy with our squad, we wouldn't be signing Mudryk. Again, January is a reactive market. There's injuries that you have to deal with. There's maybe contracts players want to leave. It's a reactive market. But in an ideal world, there'd be no business done in January because everybody would have brought people in the summer. Had we have got a centre mid and maybe a winger, them times it was Raphinha, Pedro Neto, and all of these guys, we wouldn't be saying that. So he is right, but it's a bit of gamesmanship. Clearly, we're not necessarily happy with the numbers we've got. Some extended comments, really and truly, people on Vinay. Let's see if we see anything. In the 12 years I've been here, right? You've been here 12 years. It's never been as hard as it is to get a ticket, which is true. It has never been as loud at the stadium, and we've never had as many full seats as we have at the stadium. And if you're trying to get a ticket at the moment, they're like gold dust, which is obviously true. This season for us is about progress. It's about moving the club forward. We want to get back in the Champions League, competing in the biggest competition that exists. There's positivity around the club because we feel we are heading in the right direction, but we've got a long way to go to achieve what we want to achieve. We're at the start of that journey. I think we should be positive because we are making some traction. There's no one here getting carried away. There's no one here getting above their station. Amen. And I agree with everything. And that's the calmness that I've seen from the players, from Vinay, and obviously the gaffer, Mikel Arteta, and everyone. Let the fans, let the media, let the football world proclaim Arsenal as the next this, that, the other. Let them do the talk about title challenges. You lot just keep doing what you're doing in August. Because for me as an Arsenal fan, I saw a fantastic preseason in terms of bringing in people, in terms of, you know, fine-tuning the blueprint of what Mikel Arteta specifically wants from his team and then maneuvering in that regards. And then obviously we've hit it off this season. We've rid our momentum. The World Cup looked like a bit of a road bump. We've got over that to a degree, and there's still many a test to come, people. Apologies for any technical difficulties you may or may not be facing. I've just got an alert. Oh, and I've just messed up my screen there, but I think it is raining. Oh, sorry, people. I'm actually in trouble here. Press the escape button. Sorry, I'm back now. I couldn't see for a sec. I remember that day. He said, if you ask me then, well, he's talking about when we lost 5-0 to City. If you ask, sorry, where is it? If you had ever asked me then what we felt we're on the right path. I know the first 3 games of the season we were under intense pressure, but we had great belief in Mikel. We had great belief in our sporting director, Edu. We had great belief in what we're trying to do in terms of our recruitment strategy. And, you know, that's what you've got to have in life. When everything's going wrong, you need to focus on the thing that's going right. And we're not out the tough times yet, but we've come a long way from that. Just wish we was recording the next All or Nothing. The types of players we are going to bring in, but what I can say that sitting here, having played 3, lost 3, bottom of the league, we're having a 2-week international break. Was it a pleasant time? It wasn't, but we're all absolutely together. He then praised Mikel Arteta and said, Mikel Arteta is a hugely impressive individual. From the first moment a group of us spent some time with him. It was clear that he was going to develop the right type of culture at the football club. It was clear that he could represent this football club both on and off the pitch in the right way. It was clear to our technical staff and to Edu, whose opinion was very important on this, that Mikel had a fantastic tactical brain, and it felt like he could be the type of modern coach that could take the club from where it was to where we want him to take it to. Fair enough. And then obviously we brought out some new banners as well, people. You know, we've unveiled some stuff out there at the Emirates, and they had a big night and whatnot. You know, shout out to everyone. Hey, shout out Jamaica as well, because Talawa and them thing there. We found a way to be involved. Shout out Uncle Ian as well. Shout out Edu Gaspar and that. But yeah, that's that where our technical director is. Speaking purely on transfer news now, Ben Jacobs has said, told very positive talks took place between Arsenal and Shakhtar on Monday. It's now Thursday. As reported, sources close to Mudryk say he'll be very disappointed if a transfer doesn't happen in January. Chelsea have not placed any bid following their own meeting with Shakhtar. Arsenal have still indicated directly and via intermediaries they don't want to pay 100 million euros, but structure of the deal being discussed will be more important than the final number. Shakhtar want more money up front from the second bid, in brackets under 70 million euros. Told discussed offer will increase overall total, but with some less gettable add-ons. It means Arsenal can stick within their valuation and offer extras that are either less likely or simply worth paying because tied to success if triggered. This is a key point sometimes forgotten. A final transfer package isn't always paid. That's why the numbers and structure are both equally important when striking a deal. Progress is being, this is all about Chelsea, and obviously in the time that followed, things have changed really and truly within that regard. Again, Weghorst has been signing for Man United and that, but it is what it is in that regards, people. Calcedo to Chelsea. I mean, it doesn't seem like there's any update on such, people. The latest report that I saw, which was the 11th, which was yesterday at 3 p.m, people, with Mudryk, but if I type his name in again, I'm pretty sure we'll find something. In fact, what I should really do is go on this and just type in Mudryk and see exactly what is being said. Again, there isn't anything new in relation to Mudryk, which shows you it's the calm before the storm, really. But anyways, Arsenal accelerates for Mudryk. Agreement reached with the player. The latest from CMIT, which is this publication, as we just stated, people. So we'll have to see. Specifically, the two clubs are smoothing out the last differences before the definitive agreement. Furthermore, according to what our editorial team collected, the Gunners already had an agreement in hand with the player and his entourage, so personal terms are not a problem. We're getting closer to dotting I's and crossing T's with the club. We knew that. So yeah, we hear that. But at the moment, the player is in Turkey, obviously taking part in, a mid-season sort of training camp, as Shakhtar are gearing up to play in the Europa League and obviously recommence their domestic league. So we're going to have to see what is being said specifically, but it doesn't appear that there's anything new. Romano did say yesterday, the player always wanted Arsenal as a priority. So on the player side, nothing has changed. I've seen many rumours in the last 2 or 3 days saying it's almost done, Mudryk to Arsenal. At the moment, it's not done. At the moment, it's negotiations between Arsenal and Shakhtar. They are speaking, they are negotiating. The player wants Arsenal, and that's helping Arsenal in negotiations. They are confident, they are optimistic, but it's not a done deal yet. Arsenal know that Shakhtar wants 100 million euros from Mudryk. The player wants to go. The player wants to go to Arsenal. The player is obsessed with Arsenal. So there's also this kind of respect for the player. And this is why I feel in the end they could accept something less than 100 million euros. But as of right now, they're still asking for 100 million euros. Let me just say, Arsenal are really confident because they're speaking to Shakhtar every single day. They are pushing in negotiations. They are trying to find a way to give Shakhtar what they want, but not guaranteed 100 million euros. Talks ongoing. Arsenal are confident, but it's not done yet. So until he's holding the shirt and that, myth. We've been linked with Bennacer, who, again, apparently people is about to / has signed a new deal at AC Milan, but apparently he has the same release clause, says Fabrizio Romano. Arsenal target Ismail Bennacer, or better yet, former player, now Arsenal target, has new release clause for 2024. He'll be available for 44 million, which isn't too groundbreaking, really and truly. Again, as you could see here, people, at the time, he said AC Milan will focus on Raphinha and Giroud contract extensions after Bennacer. Talks already ongoing with both of them. Bennacer will sign within the next 48 hours. New long-term deal until 2027. Release clause for 50 million euros will only be valid in 2024. So that kind of protects them for another year. That just means, from next January, you could sign him. Crucially, we heard the release clause was 50 million euros already, people. So that tells you that, okay, maybe AC Milan will indirectly look for some replacements. That tells you that while Bennacer is comfortable at AC Milan and life in Italy and stuff, and he's got every reason to be, it hasn't changed. So that still means he's a quote-unquote attractive signing to people that isn't necessarily going to break the bank in the modern day, really and truly. You know, we've seen clubs spend 50 million for Sigurdsson, and where is he? But it probably means that is. It doesn't mean you can't agree something in the summer, but in relation to his release clause, it's not valid. So it strengthens AC Milan's hand to probably get more than his release clause, if he was to be sold in the summer of 2023. So yeah, it's probably a good move for all parties, really. We've been linked with Bennacer. We've also been linked with Vlahovic. Let's leave this alone. But for what it's worth, Arsenal lead a race to sign 97.5 striker. Gunners won after Mudryk, people. After how he behaved, I don't think so. And I don't believe anything that links us with players out of Italy. Milinković Savić, Bennacer, Vlahovic, Locatelli, you know, Torreira to Italy, Xhaka to Italy, even Pablo Mari's long saga to join an Italian club. You can't really blame me, Tammy Abraham. But according to a report from La Repubblica, Arsenal are back in the race to sign Vlahovic, having followed the 22-year-old for some time. Obviously, it's been claimed that Mikel Arteta's men are leading the race for the Serbian, and while a move in January transfer window is unlikely, a summer bid could be on, according to the cards. Really, because, you know, we heard his agent wasn't picking up phones and stuff like that. That's a mad disrespect. Sometimes you need to put your pride to the side, but it just feels like there's a breakdown in negotiations. So you can never rule out anything, because we were allegedly, you know, convinced on bringing him in, but it feels like we'll move away from such. But if it could happen, why not? But it's an easy one to link with us, especially with what's going on. We've also been linked with Memphis Depay in a couple of days ago. Smash the like button, people. Don't forget to comment either in the live chat and in the comment section. Just keeping an eye on what's going on with Depay. Negotiations between Atletico Madrid and Barcelona for Memphis. Atletico are now showing strong interest, more than English clubs, and allegedly it's up to Barcelona. They understand Memphis would be open to join Atletico, as most important part of the negotiation is between the clubs. So we'll have to see. And obviously his contract's running down. You have to factor in his wages, but allegedly he's available for a couple million quid, people. So we'll have to see. If we look at some other transfer news, that's what's been said here. Danilo could be going to Nottingham Forest. You know, we've seen Douglas Luiz obviously stay and sign a new deal at Aston Villa. Danilo could be going to Nottingham Forest. If they get relegated, could get him for cheaper. And obviously, it seems like we're moving away from Telemans, but who knows, people. Newcastle battle for Telemans, people. So we'll have to see what's going on there. There's no interest from Eric Garcia in leaving Barcelona and joining Arsenal or any other club he's linked with. Darmishev says Shakhtar Donetsk are trying to make a point with Arsenal transfer target Mudryk following their recent activity on Twitter. Apparently, Shakhtar are trying to tell everyone that Mudryk is their player unless Mikel Arteta's Arsenal stump up 85 million. I mean, he's their player. They're going to take pictures. I mean, he does play for Shakhtar, mate. So I'm not too sure what that means, people. Obviously, nobody really cares about Douglas Luiz because he didn't sign for us. Allegedly, Arsenal still hold Telemans' advantage. You know, Alex Crook of TalkSport says Mudryk will happen. Everyone and their nan believes it will happen, people. So we'll have to see exactly. We have been linked with Raphinha, where we'll look at some reports in a second, people. But this just seems a bit meaty, this transfer thing. Big up Gabriel Jesus. We have been linked with Ramos of Benfica. In fact, we haven't really been linked. Spenyon Eriksson has said, really, if he wants to go to England, he'll want to go to a big club. I'm sure the clubs like Arsenal, Manchester United will look out for him. He's a player destined for the Premier League because it's the best league in the world and the best want to play there. This is the message that Shakhtar are sending. Obviously, it's game playing, but he's their player. Unless, you know, anything new, there's something we don't know. We don't need, I don't know. But apparently, Tottenham lead the race for Tossart, who's also been linked with Arsenal, Chelsea, and Liverpool. So, yeah, I mean, this just looks like more general targets and things like that. So we'll leave that. We've already seen that. We have been linked with Raphinha, who in his 6 months at Barcelona, it hasn't happened. But Arsenal have been handed a second chance to land one of their top summer targets, with Barcelona reportedly ready to consider offers for 3 forwards in January. Arsenal's proposed summer move for the former Leeds man was hijacked by Chelsea, who were then hijacked by Barcelona. And again, I still remember the Athletic article vividly. It said Chelsea, he'd be interested to join in Arsenal, but Chelsea was his second choice because of the Champions League factor, and Barcelona was his boyhood dream. So we was third choice. Edu did want him. He did try to convince him. And I mean, if we could get him on a loan for a suitable fee with an option, or we could get him at a cut price, because I don't think they're going to get 55 million within the first 6 months. Why not? But it does feel like this boat has sailed. And would Raphinha necessarily want to give up on the Barcelona dream? But saying that, Arsenal are in a better position than when we tried to buy him, in it, people. But things haven't gone according to plan for Raphinha. He has just started 7 of his 16 La Liga games this season as he has struggled to displace Dembele. And he is very frustrating. You can forgive Arsenal for Chelsea fans when you watch him for Barcelona or for Brazil to think, yeah, why is a tight player potentially dodged a bullet there? So we'll have to see how that one develops. But it says here, Raphinha could be an alternative to Mudryk, who is thought to be Mikel Arteta's preferred forward arrival. I mean, we have to be reactive, you know. If Ferran Torres and Ansu Fati and Raphinha, they're all players that I'm sure Arteta wouldn't mind working with. If Mudryk says no or his club starts acting, then it has to be something that we explore. But I wouldn't say it should be an alternative. If in the best way, you bring both in. Or, you know, I know more about Raphinha, obviously. I've seen him more than Mudryk. But the boat sailed really where Raphinha is concerned. You could never say never, but Mudryk wants to be here. He wants to sign for us. It seems like he's our first choice. We were linked with him in the summer. Go get it done, innit? So yeah, apparently that's that, people. It has shedded some light on Mudryk as well. It said Arsenal have had 2 bids turned down by Shakhtar, with the latest offer believed to be around 62 million in brackets 70 million euros, which still falls some way short of the Ukrainian side's public valuation of 100 million euros. Several journalists have said that Mudryk wants to move to Arsenal, and now Sports Arena claim that the Gunners and Shakhtar are close to agreeing on the full amount of a transfer. Where have we had that before? It's understood that the main sticking point has been discussing the ratio of guaranteed payments and bonuses, with the North London club wanting bonuses to be at least 30% of the entire transfer fee, while Shakhtar wants bonuses to be a maximum of 20%, people. So you have to draw whatever conclusions. We have been linked with Milinković Savić. Apparently, his agent has advised his client not to sign a contract extension with Lazio. The contract of the Serbian is expiring in 2024. Juventus have offered a 6 million signing-on fee if he agrees to join them in June. Arsenal have made an offer of around 40 million. And there was also reports that while he's not available in January, apparently, as you can see here, Sergej Milinković Savić could leave Lazio during the January transfer window. The Lazio president would accept a loan of 10 million euros with an obligation to buy at 40 million in the summer. Arsenal and Juventus would be ready to make a move for him. For me, he goes Juventus, you know, discount that a bit. Let's just call it 50 million, probably in the 40s. That's quite the discount from the 120 million euros the Lazio president was quoting. He's contracted until 2024, so we'll have to see. But he's a player I'd have a lot of time for, people. Apparently, Odegaard has won Premier League Player of the Month for November/December. That's great stuff. Great stuff. Absolutely great stuff. I mean, I'm going to read that later for myself. It doesn't appear that there's anything new where it's concerned, people, or anything. So let's keep it moving. What's been said here in relation to Romano? The feeling around Arsenal is that they wanted to focus on Mudryk. The priority was and is Mudryk. He's the player they want to sign. They keep in contact with Shakhtar Donetsk. So for Arsenal, the main focus is Mudryk. They had conversations with João Felix, but they don't want to spend around 15 to 16 million euros plus taxes for João Felix loan deal. So the focus is on Mudryk, people. So again, João Felix one's dead in the water. It is what it is. But in relation to Bennacer, Milinković Savić, Vinay's comments, Raphinha, and all of those sort of things, we've kind of gone through it. People. So I don't think there's anything else to really focus on, really. Let me spin the block on this page. Nah, Arsenal have joined the race to Santosa, Milinković Savić, Garcia. We've all seen the nonsense with Eden Hazard and Balde of Barcelona and Real Madrid, respectively. So that seems to be all the transfer news. Any transfer news that comes out, you know, I'll be reactive and get the videos out for you. Check out the YouTube playlist. Please make sure you're commenting. Make sure you're subscribing. Turn your notifications on. Make sure you've hit the like button. Let's boost the YouTube algorithm. Most importantly, I hope you and your loved ones stay in good health. Stay pursuing your goals. And I'll see you lot again soon, people. One love. God bless you all. I'm out.
There's always just that active red line defending. I think it's like